Right, this is going to be interesting then. So this is the first time Dominic and Tina are ever going to do the news of sport on Radio 1 to millions of people live from an empty theatre.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
It's big.
And on camera.
People said, actually, Dom, you should be used to this from the Folk Fest tour.
That is true, actually. I saw that, yeah. Empty theatres were, yeah.
Now, here's how it works. Obviously, there's different coloured microphones. So Tina's got an orange microphone and Dominic's got a yellow microphone. And I have one button which controls both microphones.
Ooh.
Now, that means that in theory, in the truck, I think they can switch one off while the other one's on.
They can.
But if it's Richard Earle, there's a good chance that, you know, he might be Mark Owen.
Right, okay.
Morning, Richard. Thank you. Oh, hello. So, just don't be chomping a bacon sandwich when Dominic's reading, Tina.
Yeah.
I'll wait till after.
Which is the noise that I make when I'm chomping a bacon sandwich. Oh, by the way, I had that cracking sandwich you gave me this morning.
That was nice.
You said it was bacon sandwich. It's bacon and sausage.
Hang on. Where are the sandwiches?
You've not seen this?
No.
Oh, we've got to move on. We haven't got time to discuss this.
Is
Sorry
there a
about
buffet?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Is there?
Is there?
Oh, my God.
How come I haven't seen
I
this?
haven't seen this.
How echo is it when I do this?
Chocolate croissants.
Really?
Yeah.
Chocolate croissant. Chocolate croissant. I feel like Johnny Vaughan.
And butter. Croissants.
Oh, because you're going to have chocolate croissant with butter.
Yeah.
All right, so we're live, access all areas. From Portsmouth, we're here till 10 o'clock this morning.
Digital.
FM.
Online.
This is BBC Radio 1.
Here comes Dominic and Tina with the news and sports at 7:minutes.
An emergency meeting is called to review airline security after the Yemen bomb plot.
And Kevin Nolan scores a hat-trick for Newcastle.
Newsbeat.
The government's called a meeting of its crisis committee to discuss airline security. It's after 2 bombs were found on cargo planes last week, one at a UK airport. The packages, which came from Yemen, were found on flights that were supposed to be heading to America. Officials there say they were the work of the same man. Here's Newsbeat's Greg Dawson.
It's thought at least one of these 2 bombs was designed to blow up a plane mid-flight. The US think the man behind it is from Saudi Arabia. Ibrahim Hassan al-Aziri has also been linked to the underwear bomb that failed to detonate on a flight to the US last Christmas. Last Friday, authorities in the UK intercepted one of the bombs at East Midlands Airport. The other was found in Dubai.
Alcohol causes more harm than heroin or crack, according to a study out today. The report is written by 2 former drug advisors. They rank ecstasy as the least dangerous drug. Nick Bish speaks for alcohol suppliers.
Alcohol's been with us for a very long time, and if it's consumed responsibly, sold responsibly, then this shouldn't be a particular issue.
A scheme allowing girls as young as 13 to get the pill without seeing a doctor is being piloted on the Isle of Wight. Teenagers who approach a chemist for emergency contraception will also be able to get a month's supply of the regular pill. Critics say that's irresponsible, though. Graduate unemployment's risen to its highest level for 17 years. That comes from a study of those who finished their degrees in 2009. 8.9% were out of work 6 months later. Hamza still doesn't have a job.
I graduated in 2009 and I went to so many interviews, but everyone had at least 2 degrees there. Since 2008, it's just tough.
And taxes for air passengers rise by up to 55% today. The increases mean a family of 4 flying economy to the US will pay £60 more for their trip. The move has been condemned by the airlines.
It was an afternoon to remember for Newcastle United and Kevin Nolan.
Joey Barton with the corner to the near post, headed towards goal, and guess who's there to complete a hat-trick? Captain Kevin Nolan.
His hat-trick helped them thrash Sunderland 5-1 in the derby. Sunderland also went down to 10 men after Titus Bramble was sent off. It was a big relief for Newcastle boss Chris Hughton after recent speculation about his job.
It's certainly not about me, it's about a group of players that have working very, very hard for each other, and they very much deserve what they got today.
Sunderland boss Steve Bruce isn't happy with some of his players.
I think the occasion got to too many. For me, 3 or 4 performed to the levels which I expect, and that's not enough. And unfortunately today, we were found wanting them, if I'm being brutally honest.
Liverpool have moved out of the bottom 3 and up to 12 thanks to a late winner from Maxi Rodriguez at Bolton. Here's Liverpool boss Roy Hodgson.
I'm happy with the work the boys put in, and I know they're trying very hard to do the right things and play the type of football that we want to play. The longer the season goes on, hopefully the better we'll become.
In the second City derby, Aston Villa and Birmingham drew 0-0. Kilmarnock are off the bottom of the SPL after a stunning 3-0 win away at Hearts. And Lee Westwood's become golf's new world #1, ending American Tiger Woods' 281-week reign at the top of the sport. And in last night's NFL game at Wembley, the San Francisco 49ers beat the Denver Broncos 24-16.
Lee who did you say?
Westwood.
Yo, baby!
I like that.
Thanks.
And the weather, generally cloudy with some, with some rain spreading into Northern Ireland.
Dave, did you just tickle Dominic? Yeah. That's very childish.
But you couldn't hear it because it got
Good.
But people can see this now.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
People can see when you get tickled. Hey, people will be able to see you getting tickled. When you get tickled, Dave, you get really violent and lash back.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you
Say,
do.
back off, I'll fight you.
I enjoy it. Oh, where's my voice?
I'm not tickling you.
See, I'll get off.
I'll get off, hates it. The weather.
Yeah, please.
Generally cloudy and wet, spreading into Northern Ireland during the morning, as well as Scotland, Wales and the northwest of England by this afternoon. Dry and sunny everywhere else, though. Quite windy for much of the UK as well. It's now 5 minutes past 7.
Ta. Oh, it rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It almost scans, doesn't it?
Yeah. By the way, that jingle used to originally sing the Chris Moyles Show on tour, and then they asked Sandy, who makes the jingles, can you get in the Chris Moyles Show Access All Areas tour? Sure.
He said no, but we did it anyway.
So we're live around the UK today. Well, not today, but this week.
Yeah.
We're in Portsmouth today. We all got here yesterday and had a couple of drinks in the hotel and then went to bed. And then we'll be hanging out here a little bit later today before then getting in our vehicles and driving to our next location in Wales. But for today, it's all about Portsmouth. And we're in a lovely, lovely theatre. It's cracking, actually. Look how lovely that is. If you're watching on the telly, you can see it. It's really lovely.
It's a beautiful place.
Do you know what? When you see that shot of the seats there, it's like the old Wogan show on the telly.
Yeah, no, it does. I've sat in one of those seats already.
What, out there?
Yeah.
I know, you sat on the front on the left.
Yeah, to do my tedious link.
Just pan over to the left a little bit. Just move to the left on that camera. There, that's where Dave was. Oh, who's that?
Someone in my seat.
Hi, Sam and Matt. Hi. It's behind you. Yeah.
Have those seats got binoculars in them? You know they have seats with binoculars in them for when you're...
No.
Right.
Have you seen the size of the
don't
theatre,
need
you
them.
idiot?
You don't really need them.
I haven't been out there yet.
The seat that I'm in is about 14 foot from where you are.
Do you want to see how long it takes for me to get from the stage to the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
To the back of
timing
what?
this.
To the theatre. Okay. It's not, honestly, it's not far.
Really?
It's a really beautiful, old and compact theatre. He'll be there like any second.
There's a camera out there. I want to see what he's doing.
Hello?
I'm at the back of the theatre.
Oh, well, no, they didn't take... That was about 8 seconds.
So you don't need binoculars.
How many rows are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite compact then.
It's compact.
It's lovely though,
I thought
isn't
we
it?
gave away like 400 tickets.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's going to be
There'll be a lot of
380
people waiting
disappointed people
outside
outside, isn't there? My favourite text...
That's rows, not seats.
Of course.
Yeah, my favourite text today says, whose legs are behind Tina and why are they in shorts?
Oh, I know who that was. And also, by the way, has anybody texted yet saying, why is there a random door behind Dominic? Or has anyone not noticed that?
It's a bit Noel's house party, isn't it, for those that remember that reference?
Because well, the thing is, when you look at the monitor, when I'm looking at my monitor, it doesn't look that weird, but that is just a random door, which we've got. That's going to come around the country with us.
It's the showbiz door.
Is it?
It's been
Steve, do you want to go through the door? Come on, come through the door.
through the door.
This is Steve, our engineer.
Here we go.
In the shorts.
Good morning. Put your head round that way. Hello!
I love the fact that the camera was in a position to show him walking up to the showbiz door around the wall.
I like our silly door. I should put the door sound effects on there as well, shouldn't I? Do you want to have a go, Dom?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay. Bearing in mind where the camera is, so you know, get your eye line right. Knock first, obviously.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Oh, come in. Hi. Bye.
Looks like a simpleton when he does that.
I enjoyed myself.
Oh, this is, and by the way, this is what the license fee was created for. This show right here today.
There's a week of this.
Yeah. Do we know if there's anyone outside yet?
The people will be turning up by now. They were told to be here by 7:15.
The people be turning up.
The people be turning up.
The people be turning up right now.
One song.
One song.
They turn up.
The people turn up.
Yeah, the people be turning up.
But come and see the show today.
One song. They'll start queuing up now, and then at 8 o'clock we'll open the doors and they'll come in.
Nice.
And then we'll get to meet them for the first time at 8:15 when that curtain falls.
Oh, by the way, the curtain was just held up by industrial strength rope, and then somebody who shall remain nameless, Ben, said to me, so when you press the button and obviously the ropes drop, they shouldn't hit you, but just want you to be aware. And I'm like, of what? That they might hit me?
But see, shouldn't isn't the same word as won't.
No.
I know.
Is it?
They've tested it and it was fine.
I think there's plenty of scope for this to go wrong.
They also said don't hit the button before 8 o'clock because it takes about an hour to get it back up again, so we can't.
Do you know who they mainly focus that question at?
You?
Me?
Yeah. Because you're an idiot.
It's here, but here's the button here.
Don't go near it, Chris.
I'm just going to show it. There's a camera above my head, right? So you can be able to see the magic box.
Is it just a button? Because they said there was like a fail-safe type thing.
There's a safety switch here.
That's
We've got to
it.
go that way. No, that way. Who's controlling that? But no. So you've got, that's like the safety switch.
Which you've got to turn first.
Which I have to turn, which I'm
Fine.
not going to turn. And then there's literally one massive big red button.
That's real
which you
power,
can't
isn't it?
I can't move it,
Don't
but it's
press
there. So look, but it's called a firing unit. I mean, look how lethal it looks, for God's sake. So that gets switched to armed. It's currently on passive.
Do you know just as well?
And then it goes to armed.
Do you know what? On the back of it, where I can see, it even says fuse and stuff like that.
Wow.
Well, no, but
Does it say plug?
It has a fuse.
Yeah, all plugs have fuses in, don't they?
They do.
no, but that makes it sound even more lethal, doesn't it?
Like a toaster or something.
But everything has a fuse in it.
But I just get scared about turning it from passive to armed.
Someone's
for God's sake.
texting, James is texting saying, do you really have
Here
an
we go.
applause sign?
Press it. Oh! Hello?
Hello?
It's got a fuse in it.
It's got a fuse in it. That makes it more lethal. No, I thought.
Alan, what are you doing?
I've changed
Are you
the...
changing channel?
I've changed it from
Daybreak on.
I've gone to daybreak. Christine's great this time of day. No, I've changed the little sign to the Chris Moyles Show because people have noticed it says applause and there's no one there to actually applause in the audience.
It's just, the sign. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a sign for the audience.
There's also a sign that says silence, but it
No,
looks
that's
as
the
though-
same one.
Oh, is it?
Silence, applause,
Yeah.
the Chris Moyles Show.
Right.
Can we get a shot of that? Oh, here we go. It's coming up now. So there you go. That says silence. There's a little box for the audience. And then if Alan changes it, it'll be a miracle. There you go.
gonna happen,
There's
is
now
it?
Alan desperately trying to change it.
Still silence out.
Yeah. Shh. Silence, Alan.
It'd be brilliant. When the guests turn up, just silence over it. Still silence. Yeah.
This is good.
I think we'll master this by Friday.
Every time we see it, we Okay. Now says apple sauce.
Will it happen quicker than that in real life?
Yes.
Silence applause. Silence. And the joke goes on forever.
Wouldn't it be great if we had a live totalizer on audience figures with one with Daybreak and we could see how close we're getting to them as the week goes on?
Apparently there's a bit of a gulf at the moment.
There's a bit of a what?
Gulf between the two figures.
Okay.
Not golf.
No.
Right. Yeah, it's like...
Hello, welcome to Daybreak. I'm Adrian Charles. I'm Christine Bleakley, and today we're playing golf. Anything to get the figures up. God love them. Anyway, so we're all live today until 10 o'clock this morning. It's nice to be back on the air. And we're live in a beautiful theatre. Have we said what theatre it is?
We can do, but we haven't.
Okay. Then I won't.
You're speaking in code today.
Well, we haven't said it so far, so it now fine.
When they said to me, Chris, do you want to play Portsmouth? And I said, yes. And they said, would you like to go to the Theatre Royal? And I went, no, I'll go to the new Theatre Royal,
yes,
but I'm
please.
not going to the old Theatre Royal. And there we are in the new Theatre Royal.
Yes.
Everything's for Micah and MDF.
The old Theatre Royal, it looks rubbish compared to this.
Oh, yes.
Looks very outdated.
Oh, by the way, the lines are closed for Celebrity Raspberry, so there you go. Stop calling for Celebrity Raspberry. The lines are closed, and then we'll get somebody on in a couple of records' time. Thank you.
Chris Moyles Show. Access hilarious tour.
Would you like to hear the Out of News Portsmouth jingle?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
More so than the Out of News Newport jingle.
That's saved till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope. Okay, 811 if you want to text in this morning. Maybe you're watching on the red button. Maybe you're watching online. Maybe you're not watching anything, you're just listening to it. Send us a text, 811